Episode 3 of Love is Blind, Season 7, I think definitely sold me on the show, finally, for two different reasons. There's a connection that just really sold me on the concept of the show that we will get to. And then we finally did get some drama by the end of episode 3. For really the first time all season, some drama. However, it involves the most annoying individual on the show since first episode, that being Leo. Which I guess we will just have to start with them. Leo is so weird. It doesn't help that he's so boring, almost robotic. At times he's talking and he really comes across like an extraterrestrial from another planet, which kind of makes sense because he does look like Alf, if you ask me. Anyway, he's been dragging two women along in this love triangle, Hannah and Brittany. Brittany, who has grown a lot since the first episode when she was just coming across as wanting to be a trophy wife, like she's just a gold digger. We've gotten to peel the onion back a little bit and see that Brittany is really kind of insecure in her past relationships too, because she's always dating more wealthy guys. Almost comes across like she's maybe been a sugar baby in the past when it comes to more wealthy individuals, because she's talking about how she's been in relationships with the type of guys that have other options, and she made it seem like she's been in love triangles and love quadriangles before in the past, so she comes from mess. So I don't really feel sorry for her in this situation with Leo, where her conversations with Leo have just become very heavy, with Brittany crying a lot, mostly in my mind because Brittany cannot fathom that another guy is not just into her and is into someone else too. Brittany talking about how usually in real life she could just use her eyes to try and make guys fall for her. In this case, she can't because they can't see her ass. But Leo is also doing the same thing to Hannah. Where he's really been annoying is telling both women that they're both his number ones and he's feeling the same way about them. But Hannah has been going through a roller coaster with Nick D. And Nick D has been and continues to be my favorite guy on the show, although Tyler's high up there as well. But Nick D is a very entertaining person. And he and Hannah have something in common in that both of them, I feel like it has taken them a while to open up with each other on a more deeper level. Their early conversations, there was a lot of talk about looks, and that was what caused Hannah to feel some type of way about Nick in the first place, which kind of made her spiral. And then she and Nick kind of almost broke up there, and now they've gone back to talking. But now that they're connecting on a deeper level, and now that Hannah has opened up to both Leo and Nick about her insecurities, mostly with her weight, revealing that she lost 45 pounds last year, I felt like that conversation went way better with Nick than it did with Leo. Although Leo was very open-minded, and although Leo is saying if she was 500 pounds, he wouldn't care, I don't buy it. Leo continues to be a walking, talking contradiction. He's the same person that goes on and on talking about how he doesn't like when women see him just for his wealth and just for his career. But he's always the one bringing up his wealth and bringing up his career. Did it with Brittany talking about the big ring he would get her. Did it with Hannah talking about the prenup they will have to get. Which I'm not saying that the prenup should not be discussed, but what I am saying is that if he keeps saying he's into Hannah only because she doesn't talk about only his wealth, he always talks about his wealth with Hannah. So Leo's just very annoying. When Hannah brought up her weight issues in the past to Nick, they kind of bonding and laughing about it, laughing over trauma, which is always a good way to connect with people. Let's be real. Sometimes the dark issues, the deeper issues are best dealt with being able to laugh about your past issues. And I think that did kind of help them bond even more. And I think it made Hannah realize that there is a deeper level to Nick. And it seemed, for now, to make Hannah feel as though she's actually in love with Nick. And Nick went in there to say that he is falling in love with her. I'm not going to get used to this whole all these people proclaiming they love each other after 2 weeks thing, but that's what keeps happening. So after that conversation with Nick, Hannah seemed to have her mind made up that she is in love with Nick and wants Nick. But Leo, who was supposed to have a fun night with Brittany, still was talking to Brittany about both of his connections and how he's asking them both the same questions. And Brittany started crying again. And I think that was probably a turn off to Leo. But I don't understand what Leo expects. That he's just going to be stringing both women along and they're not going to get emotional about it. The funny thing is that Hannah has not been getting emotional about it. And maybe that's what turns Leo on more about Hannah in regards to Brittany. And I am surprised that Brittany is the one more emotionally invested in that relationship because of her start on the show talking about wanting to be a trophy wife. But Leo was a little too late in getting to Hannah, because after Leo seemed to make up his mind that he actually wants Hannah and not Brittany, he goes in this conversation with Hannah, only for Hannah to tell him she's in love with Nick. And now Leo's getting desperate, which is the cliffhanger of episode 3 that I just finished watching before talking about it, where Leo is going so far as to say he might want to propose right now. Would Hannah say yes? Which is quite a big show of drama, but maybe will be the drama going into episode 4. Will Hannah really say yes to Leo's proposal after just proclaiming her love for Nick? I will have to sit here and drag the ever-loving hell out of Hannah if that is what happens in episode 4. I have things locked and loaded. People are going to be offended, but I will say it about Hannah if I have to. But yeah, Leo, I don't think he is going to be into Hannah when they meet. I don't think it's going to last. I don't see this whole alleged twin flame connection where Hannah's professing her love for another man already, and where Leo's just been stringing 2 people along the whole time in the same exact way. Spare me. So yeah, I'm very annoyed with Leo. He is the centering of the drama, but he is very annoying. Let's move on, though. Let's move on to 2 couples met in person to see each other for the first time. Episode 2 ended with Garrett and Taylor meeting. And their first meeting and proposal, I guess, went better than I expected. I mean, I've been dragging Garrett the first 2 episodes. And so I will say, to be positive about Garrett for once, is that Garrett is more... Garrett is better at communicating in person. Like when they're together than he was just talking separately, just talking behind each other's walls. I felt like in person he is definitely better at the whole relationship thing than I expected him to be. I still feel as if Taylor carries a lot of that relationship. But now seeing them meet in person, I think my mind can change on that where Garrett is concerned. They're kissing. They kissed a lot. They started awkwardly kissing a lot. And I'm not sure if their kissing got better the more and more they did it, or if it just got more awkward. But, it wasn't... I'm not going to get too much into that, I guess. It wasn't my favorite thing to watch them have long, drawn-out kisses. But maybe that's just because I don't like Garrett that much. But I will be fair and say they seem to like each other a lot. They were very physical with each other when first meeting. And maybe they will be better than I expected them to be. The other couple whom I love is Tyler and Ashley. Their talks in episode 3 were really sweet. It was Tyler's birthday where Ashley wrote a very sweet letter for him. And I think Ashley really got it across that she loves many different things about Tyler's personality, how vulnerable he is, how he has such a calming effect on her. And Tyler says that this is the deepest connection he's ever had, which is what sold me on the whole concept of the show. Them not being able to see each other, them just being able to talk to each other, but yet still being able to feel this deeply for each other, this connection, just getting to know each other. For now, these two sold me on it. Even their first meeting, I thought was just super cute. They were not all over each other, kissing like Garrett and Taylor were, but I liked it even better. It was still them just gazing into each other's eyes and being able to connect. It's nice seeing personalities just connect and have that kind of chemistry. It's something I enjoy seeing. It's why I have always enjoyed soap operas, seeing different soap opera couples have that chemistry. And it's nice to see it on reality shows too. On Love Island, that's what sold me on Serena and Cordell. The passion they had for each other because of their already personalities having chemistry. They were so similar in personalities. I think Tyler and Ashley A just really connect on that level where their personalities are concerned, and I thought their first meeting was very sweet. Tyler getting emotional again. He's a very emotional person. He's done a lot of crying on the show. I thought it was funny with him trying to say, "Oh, I'm tough. I'm tough, though." That was humorous as well. Love Tyler and Ashley. We'll see what happens with them. Then we have more of the triangle between Ramses, Bowden and Marissa, where Bowden and Ramses found out that their number one is the same person in Marissa. In episode 2, I felt like Ramses and Marissa had more chemistry, but after episode 3, I did enjoy the chemistry between Marissa and Bowden. Marissa just has great energy as it is. She's always like exuding a light when it comes to these conversations. She did not come back, at least in the edit, with a great story like she promised she would for Bowden the last time we saw them together on episode 2, so I found that interesting. But their conversation this time, talking about them both being in the military, how it's kind of a yellow flag to both of them, but they don't really like dating other military people, so it's more of a yellow flag than a green flag, but it's not a red flag either. Maybe the reason Ramses and Marissa's talk wasn't as chemistry filled as it was in episode 2 for me was because I think Ramses felt some type of way after learning that Marissa and Bowden are also each other's number one, or that Bowden has Marissa as number one. So he was more subdued in their conversation, but they had a deep talk about kids, which I would think is kind of a big step to talk about. So I don't know what Marissa will do after this episode going forward. Like I just said, I just watched episode 3. I have no idea what happens the next 3 episodes. So I am interested to see it though, because Marissa's very likable and both men are very likable. So somebody likable is going to get their heart broken, which kind of sucks. Tim and Alex did not get a lot of screen time this go round, but I like that Tim acknowledged that their first 2 episodes, we only saw them have this heavy conversations about Tim's tragedies in his life. And this time they had a more fun conversation. They didn't get a lot of screen time with that conversation, but I mean, I like seeing them together. We'll see what transpires there. Same thing goes for Steven and Monica. Side note, Monica, 36 years old, beautiful woman. Steven, very big personality. I liked him in this episode as well. They admitted they're falling in love for each other. The big L word after 2 weeks, kind of a big deal. It's part of the show that kind of makes me roll my eyes, but at the same time, the Pisces within me was really enjoying the Tyler and Ashley interactions. That I'm kind of a hypocrite because all these people saying I love you after 2 weeks kind of makes me roll my eyes. But at the same time, watching Tyler and Ashley interact was really warming my little Pisces heart. But yeah, Steven and Monica too. I like Steven saying he wants Monica to treat him like a piece of meat. He wants to be wanted. I thought that was funny. I think Steven is pretty funny with his big personality. And I do hope he and Monica work out because they're both... I think they just both want to be wanted. And they're both really sweet people. Of course, the big deal besides Garrett and Taylor meeting and Tyler and Ashley meeting was the Leo, Hannah, Brittany, Nick D, love quad triangle. They could be setting it up where Nick is so likable and about to get hurt by Hannah because of Leo's pushing of Hannah. Talked about last episode how Hannah is the youngest cast member. I don't know what she'll do in this situation. If she pisses me off, she's going to get dragged. And I might say offensive things. And that's just the way it's going to happen. That's how it happens on this channel sometimes. I don't know what to tell you all. I like Nick. And it's not just because we share the same name. There's another Nick on the show. He gets 0 screen time. And usually on shows, Nicks piss me off. So it's different for me to like a Nick. But I do like Nick. And at first, I wasn't thinking he and Hannah would work out if they did get together. After this episode, I think their connection grew stronger. And I just don't know what Leo expects. He has played this so terribly, stringing both women along. Now he's making this latch-ditch effort to Hannah. Either way, no matter what Hannah does in this episode, it's going to cause drama with Brittany. It's going to cause drama with Nick. We'll see. I don't know how this show works. I wish I knew the concept more. Like, after all these people meet, I'm assuming everyone else still sticks around. I want both Nick and Leo to be able to meet Hannah to see how they actually interact with each other. And I just don't know if that's how the show works because it's my first time watching. If it is, then we could have some good drama in the future, as much as Leo is grating and has been grating 3 episodes straight.